So my name is Omar Abasad. It is 9:02 p.m., April 6, 2020. So I just came out from going shopping for food, and just about everything is closed. Organic store was closed early, so I was forced to go to the regular grocery store. So I went across the street to the Chinese store. Um, there weren't as many fruits and vegetables as there normally would be, but there is some. Um, so I just wanted to talk about the signals that I was tracked with, and I'm going to download this data. So I was hit quite a few times in the Chinese grocery store, much the same way that I'm hit in the building, exactly the same way. So there is antennas, and I'm going to say that 5G is already being used in the area to monitor, track, torture. So I'm not wanted in the store, obviously. I was forced to go there today. I was desperate to get some fruits. So I didn't have a choice. So there was names called. I heard that the my throat is getting hit. It's all dried out. Um, this doesn't happen when I'm on the bus. It really doesn't. I heard the Japanese got it. I heard that the cops are trying to close the account off. And back of the head is being hit. So I heard a Guyanese man's name who likes to get behind the head. Um, there it is right there. So I'm pretty sure, as I said, I'm pretty sure 5G is being used in the area, in the general area, as part of the experiment. Of course, we're not supposed to talk about it because it's an experiment. So as I was saying, I heard that the cops are trying to get the accounts closed, and there is more than one. I heard my name was changed to either Mahood, Masood, or Mohammed, Muslim names, and Muslim man espoused me. So I heard I'm Muslim because these men are living with me remotely as a wife. Of course, this is, if it's true, then this is trafficking and it's sex slavery, remote sex slavery, which falls in line with being chipped and tracked and surveilled and logged into, um, which would be an experiment, really. So the fact that PK said he's working with the government, and there is a criminal group in the government that's working with a criminal called PK who is also selling to the Muslims. So in the building for a long, long, long time, 15 years, I would notice that there are certain people who would show up around me all the time. So now I know that these people are in the monitoring, quote unquote, group. So these would be the owners at the time. And they would be reporting into the cops, which is a cover for trafficking. Because these signals between your legs is remote rape, 5G. And here is a good example. The neck is really, really hurting. The blood pressure is not going to tell me much because I've been walking, so it's going to be elevated. But look at the power behind the head and the neck and the ears, the ear. So of course the Chinese traffickers are selling, pimping. Um, Excuse me. The chest was just hit. I have a lot of magnets in my back, so because I know I had to carry some of the stuff, my groceries in the back, which is really on my back in my knapsack because my car is not up. I have to get a new car if the economy ever comes back up. I'm thinking of opening an online business of some sort. I have to get a really good computer, which is going to cost me over $1,000. So we'll see how soon the economy comes back up. Anyway, so I heard that the cops are all over me, looking for me because there are warrants outstanding because the informants, such as PK, Rick, I heard my sister-in-law is trying to have me mentally committed, so she's constantly calling the cops because she's a government agent right now, and she's chasing me and she's sending the cops after me, saying that the family is worried about me while they try to defraud me, and they harassed the heck out of me, calling me a prostitute, which I'm not, never was. This is because of the accumulated file that PK and his friends put together to paint me as one in order to sell under the cover of the flag after 9/11. So the family being misogynistic, the brother's passed away. The sister-in-law just doesn't like girls. Being West Indian background of East Indian descent, doesn't like girls. And she thinks that I should not be independent. And of course, this falls in line with communist China's thinking. So, and the 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 New World Order is taking things right now. And the New World Order is openly talked about. So this is not a conspiracy anymore. We're seeing it in the UN agenda, Agenda 21, the World Health Organization, UNESCO, and whatever global organizations there are that I didn't list. It's a global government governing, I should say, a global governing body that is being put in place so that every country follows a China is the template that's being used. So this is something that I've been talking about in my tweets and in my blogs. So the cops, whose motto is to serve and protect an obelisk, and the obelisk is representative of the elite. And the elite is represented in the New World Order group. And PK says he's working for the highest of the high, so there is the link. There is a link. So the cops are all over me. Of course, there's absolutely nothing wrong with me. Staying inside all the time is very, very difficult, especially for me in spring. I haven't been working because I was sick, and I was looking for work actively before this happened, hoping to be working by now. I was trying to get the right job. But for me to not be able to go outside is torture, just absolute torture. And of course, there's a whole lot of people who think the same way, especially kids. I mean, kids probably are finding it so difficult to stay inside. It's depressing. Because for me, nature is a part of me. It's to me, being outside. There you go. Being outside is like breathing. I need to. I have to. But I was red alerted as I was leaving, so I'm going to download the data from, and you can't see the numbers on this camera. The camera doesn't have a really good focus. So I'm going to download the data and show you what it is like to be red alerted as you leave the building, as I leave the building. And this is intended for everybody, because once you're chipped, because Bill Gates is talking about a chip, a digital vaccine, meaning a chip. and you have to be tracked because they'll have to know where you are to make sure that there's not more than 5 people around you. So you have to be tracked. I think in China there is an app. So our freedom is being taken away because there is a bug. I went outside, didn't have gloves, didn't have a mask on. I stayed my distance. I think that's good enough. Even if somebody cough, you just turn away. Masks for people who feel comfortable doing that should do it. I mean, if somebody coughs, if somebody walks up to you and cough in your face, a mask will come in really handy. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, my personal choice, seeing that everybody is a carrier, eventually everybody is going to get this virus, whether you become sick or not. You're going to get infected and you're going to be carrying it around inside of your body as we carry around millions of other bacteria and viruses in our bodies. The reason we don't get sick is because the virus and the bacteria is not allowed to grow at a faster rate than the body can kill. So the good bacteria is I think how it works is well, maybe not. I was going to say good bacteria kills the bad bacteria, but I don't think that's the way it works. Um, in a lot of cases, maybe in some cases, I don't know. But in your digestion system, in your digestive system. But I think it has to do with the inflammatory response in your body that really breaks your body down when your body is overrun by the viral load, as was talked about. Anyway, so yeah, this is life in the city. Everybody's looking at one another. I was reported on there as I walked out of the subway. There was a person who wasn't going into the subway, but he was there looking. As I walked in, there was somebody there on the phone talking on a bicycle. He wasn't going anywhere, he was just standing there. You're being tracked, you're visibly being tracked to make sure that you're going to a place that is necessary, or else they call the police. So there are organizations and agencies, criminal ones, people who just want business. Because right now people don't have work, so they do anything for money. So they would track people to make sure that they're going, for groceries, or they're going for gas, or to the medical facility, as long as it's a necessity. Or if not, they call the cops on you. Much the same way that I'm being tracked and have been tracked after 9/11, exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. So this virus is being used in exactly the same way. So everybody. So instead of the people who are on the list after 9/11, everybody is going to be tracked after COVID-19 in exactly the same way the targets were tracked after 9/11. So what happened to Omar Rampersad is now happening to everybody. If somebody alerts you and call the cops and the cops alerts you, you'll get zapped. That's the system that's being brought in because the system is already in place. Because I got zapped in the subway in Warden Station, waiting for the bus. I bought a vegetable patty in one of the little booths there, and I was eating it, and I was zapped on the chest at a very, very high power. I have magnets on my back and on my obliques, so shielding, metallic shielding. So that helped, or else it was so. If I didn't have that on, I would have probably keeled over. The power was so high. I'm going to look at the data and my throat was just pulsed. That's the alarm. So this is intended for everybody. So when this is rolled out for everybody officially in a year, maybe, because that's when the vaccine is supposed to happen. I would blurbs, and then go to the cops and say, hey, cop, when I said I was being experimented with, do you remember you telling me I was mentally ill? And one of those beeps was actually my breast. The breast and between the legs is being hit. The Japanese man who shows up around me because he's on the Japanese team, he just walked past me in front of the grocery store as I was coming out, visibly looking at me. The team, the Japanese got it. Openly doing it, so I'm openly talking about it. And that's my hand. It's the hand. And the neck is really hurting. Okay, so I'm tired. I was on my foot for 2.5 hours. Well, maybe not 2.5. Some of that was sitting, but anyway, I was on the road for 2.5 hours. So I'm exhausted. Yeah, because I worked out on my elliptical trainer before that. Talk to you another time. I'm trying to share myself. Yes, it's a little bit of a lot of detail, a little bit of personal detail, I should say. But there is a so that it negates the propaganda that's being spread by the people who are running the experiments. Talk to you another time.